Day 22, Genesis chapter 30 and 31. Sometimes, the most powerful seasons of our lives don't look spiritual at all. They look like long days. Unfair bosses, delayed answers, family tension, hard work that no one applauds. Jacob's journey reminds us that God's work in our lives does not wait for us to get everything right. In the middle of mixed motives, imperfect decisions, and human effort, God was still present, guiding, protecting, and fulfilling his purpose. This story invites us to see that God's faithfulness often runs deeper than our flaws, and his plans move forward even when our faith wavers. A kind of story that is not the dramatic Red Sea moment, but the slow, exhausting, everyday grind where God is still very much at work. Let's start from where God remembered Rachel. He listened to her and enabled her to conceive. The word remembered does not mean God had forgotten. It means the appointed time had come. Rachel had prayed. She had cried. She had compared herself to others. She had tried shortcuts. And still, nothing happened. Many of us enter a new year carrying the quiet ache of unanswered prayers. You've done everything right. You've waited. You've believed. You've watched others receive what you're still praying for. God's silence is not absence. Your delay is not a rejection. When God acts, it is never late, only intentional. Your season is coming, and it will make sense when it arrives. Next, we read how Jacob makes an unusual request to Laban. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove every speckled or spotted sheep. They will be my wages. At first glance, this seems like a weak deal. Spotted animals were fewer. Laban assumed Jacob would remain dependent. But Jacob understood something powerful. Integrity plus wisdom can thrive even in unfair systems. Jacob didn't steal. He didn't fight. He didn't manipulate people. He negotiated. He worked. He trusted God to multiply what looked small. God can prosper you without compromising your character. Sometimes God does not remove you from the system. He blesses you inside it. When the animals were weak, he did not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban and the strong ones to Jacob. This is not magic. This is discernment. Jacob paid attention. He learned timing. He worked smart, not just hard. Faith does not cancel strategy. Prayer does not replace wisdom. Hard work does not eliminate planning. Ask God not just for strength. Ask him for insight. One of the most troubling moments comes quietly. When Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household gods. Rachel loved God, but she also feared uncertainty. The household gods symbolized security, familiarity, and control. She was stepping into the unknown and grabbed what felt safe. This is deeply human. As we enter new seasons, we often carry old habits, old mindsets, old emotional crutches, things God never asked us to bring along. This moment teaches us that you cannot fully trust God while secretly holding backup idols. What are you holding on to just in case God doesn't come through? God came to Laban in a dream. Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. Jacob never knew this conversation happened, but God stepped in. God speaks to people about you without informing you. There are confrontations that never happen, attacks that never form, plans that never materialize, not because you defended yourself, but because God drew the line. Jacob finally speaks up. I did not bring you animals torn by wild beasts. I bore the loss myself. You demanded payment from me. This is the testimony of quiet integrity. No applause, no reward, just consistency. Jacob was faithful even when exploited, and God saw every unseen sacrifice. For anyone feeling tired of doing the right thing, God keeps records humans forget. Your honesty, your discipline, your endurance, they are seeds, and seeds grow, even underground. Even though Jacob was not perfect and sometimes relied on his own clever schemes, God never took his eyes off him. Jacob's story in Genesis 30 and 31 shows us that God's protection is not reserved for flawless people. God watched over Jacob in his mistakes, corrected his motives, and still guided him toward growth and fulfillment. This reminds us that while our methods may be flawed, God remains faithful, patiently shaping us as we learn to trust Him more than our own tricks. God works. In delays, in unfair systems, in quiet strategies, in unseen sacrifices, in private divine conversations,